Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our City Council Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency successor agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting, July 16th, 2013. It's a pleasure to have you all here. We're starting approximately 6:31 according to that clock. So let's begin. City Attorney, any comments, or we defer to closed session?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report on closed session is just that there was only one item. Council members Kim and Castro have a conflict of interest related to this matter because they have a personal financial interest in the case as a result of being named parties in the case. However, there's no alternative source of a decision because without their participation, there would not be a quorum. Therefore, they did participate in the closed session, as has been done on this particular item. Mayor Hodge and Councilmember Hurtado were not participating in the closed session due to their potential conflict of interest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, no reportable action out of the closed session.
Very good, thank you. Now, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Honorable Supervisor John Renison, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
My pleasure. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for July 16th, 2013?
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved by Councilwoman Hurtado, second by Councilman Moreno. Please vote, Council.
Discussions.
No discussion.
Yes, discussions.
I'm the one that has to say the discussion, right?
With the
That
first
is
and the second, you have to take a vote.
Second.
Second for discussion. I didn't second for discussion.
Well, still, we have a discussion time. Any meeting we're
Madam
supposed to have a
Attorney,
discussion
Hold
time.
on. Wait, stop talking, please. City Attorney, we already have a conflict here. When one seconds it, and if they don't say discussion, does another city councilman have the right to proceed with the discussion? Or is it in the hands of the person that seconded it? And it's only on the approval of the agenda. I have here the Robert Rules of Order.
The best way to resolve it is see what a majority of the council wants to do. Does a majority of the council want to allow for discussion? Or
All
does a
right.
majority of council just want to take the vote?
Okay, and how are we going to decide that? We're going to vote on whether we
Just
want...
say whether you want to
Yeah,
further.
okay. Councilman Castro, do you want to just approve the agenda, or do you want to respect Councilman Kim's wanting to have discussion?
I would like to respect what Councilman Kim
All right. Councilman,
asked.
all right, very good, sir. Councilwoman Hurtado, what is your pleasure?
Well, actually, I'm not too sure why we're going to be disapproving the agenda.
I know,
but,
I'm interested also.
But I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, me too. Councilman Moreno?
You know, I feel that approving the agenda doesn't take much. It's just, you know, we can discuss the item you want to
Routine.
discuss. But I say no. I say let's approve the agenda and move it forward.
All right, you've piqued my curiosity, Councilman Kim. I don't like already a conflict, but you have the right. So we'll have a discussion on the approval of the agenda. You may proceed, Councilman Kim.
The first of the discussion is the way we put agenda. We have so much consent agenda. Consent agenda should be the natural, normal
We're not on the
items.
consent
So
agenda yet,
lots of
Mr. Mayor?
things-
All right,
We are not on the consent agenda just yet.
No, I'm talking about the way to put in the agenda.
all right, let's let Councilman Kim speak.
And the other one is, at the policy, we have a future agenda time. And we don't have a future agenda time in the agenda. And how we, a council member, can suggest a future agenda.
You've done it before without it being on the agenda.
Councilman Moreno, we want to allow Councilman Kim to speak. Please do not interrupt, and we will give you the same respect. Let him move on, and we'll come to a shorter point of time. Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, so I like to see for the adding the future agenda on today's agenda. And also, I'd like to request the put on the agenda and the discussion and action for the change in procedure for the placement of the items on the city council agenda for the future next meeting. I believe next meeting, regular meeting is August 20th.
Will you repeat that again, please, Councilman Kim?
Discussion and action on the changing in procedure for the placement of items on the city council agenda.
For the place of the item,
Yes.
you're talking about the whole agenda or consent agenda or?
No, the placement of the item on the city council agenda. Because right now, so when I see the policy, city mayor doesn't have any power to put agenda. The city mayor has to request the city manager to put on the agenda. Actually, the city mayor has to have a powers to put an agenda, and also we don't have any abilities to put an agenda. By the policy, council member have 3 ways to put an agenda. One of the way the future agenda time, we can place the agenda, and suddenly from the last December, they removed from our agenda. That agenda, we supposed to put it back, the council members' ability to request the put agenda at the open meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. City Manager, what is the current process for placing items on the agenda? Mr. City Manager, or Madam City Attorney?
Well, the only thing is, we shouldn't have a full discussion about the agenda policy
Now.
now.
So that's why.
I think if Councilmember Kim wants to bring up during councilmember comments that that's an item that he'd be interested in putting on the future agenda, I think that would be, but it's not going to go on this agenda. The agenda is written the way it is for tonight.
Yeah, but we
So-
can add up at the future agenda items.
Right.
For next time, Councilman
Right.
Kim.
Okay.
Okay. So you understand, City Attorney, she's not denying your voice, it's just where you're wanting to speak. Council comments
Yeah,
would be
but
more
still,
appropriate.
I'm requesting to put on agenda.
All right,
for
we
the-
hear you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move forward, and then you'll have another opportunity to speak. Okay, we've allowed Councilman Kim to discuss this matter, so
Mayor,
we will proceed.
If I
Yes.
may, we would like to pull item number 8 at this point.
Okay, but we need to, okay, we still need to approve the agenda. Is that correct?
Right, but we'd like to pull item 8 on the
Okay,
agenda.
you want to pull item number 8. All right, but let's have an approval of the agenda. So can we start all over? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I would encourage...
Made the first motion
All right.
to approve the
All right,
agenda
and it was
as
second-
is.
As
Second
is.
by John Moreno, Councilman. All right, please vote. All right, we got through that. Let's proceed. Before we go to public comments, I'm going to state some expectations and rules, and actually, by speaking, I'm probably going to break the rule, but please indulge me. Ladies and gentlemen, as your new mayor, I want to communicate to you my particular style and expectations and rules in facilitating and chairing these council meetings. So let me begin with the public. In order to give everyone a democratic right that wants to speak, we must have reasonable speaking limits. I will, along with the council, maintain and enforce the 3 minutes of public speaking rule. But here's a caveat or a qualifier. If it's necessary, or I'll tell everyone that once you've reached your 3 minutes, you'll have about 30 seconds to wrap it up. I will not be rude and cut you off. It's not my manner. Unless you just keep going on and on and on. Now, you have a voice. Things that you say are important. But we need to expedite and move these meetings in an efficient manner. And I expect when we don't have today, it was on short notice, I have requested some type of digital clock that we all can see and that the public can self-regulate your time. So you have a right to have a voice, but at this same time, this council has the responsibility to carry out in a timely, efficient manner city business. We must have a balance, so I need your cooperation. So please remember, no shouting, no talking over each other, and especially when someone is speaking at the podium, and especially, actually for your safety, no running down the aisle and addressing the council right here at the dais. The proper way to do it, allow your voice, is to go to the podium and speak. Again, on this point, I need your cooperation, so thank you. Now to my fellow council members, I'm going to allow each and every one of you to speak without interruptions. At this point in time, experimentally, we can say, I will not put a time limit on you, but I will warn you, along with Councilman Moreno, he will help me, that you have been speaking for 3 minutes. And we will warn you, and when we do that, council members, we ask you to be considerate of the length of time and self-regulate and wrap it up. If you are repeating, and that includes me, the same issue or going off issue or item, I will tell you so and ask you to stop, and I know that you will hold me accountable to these same conditions. I ask the City Council to sincerely remember and apply the common sense rules on council decorum and protocol that we learned in the retreat a few months back. No interrupting, no cross-talking, and especially out loud, no questioning personal intentions. Let me end by saying that each and every council member in their hearts, ladies and gentlemen, cares about you and what's best for the community. We realize that we have gotten off track. However, we are now resolved to move forward in serving you. So as mayor, my vision for Calexico, and I know that my fellow councilmen hold the same vision, is to fight hard in bringing jobs to our community, improving our parks, enlarging and in strengthening ties to Mexicali, serving and protecting our youth and senior citizens, enhancing public safety, and being accessible and accountable to you, the citizens of Calexico. In the near future, I will be providing details on a few ideas that I have, and I hope I have the support of the council. A mayor cleanup campaign in different neighborhoods, a people's forum right before the last meeting of the month so that you can come in an informal way and vent and constructively criticize or give us your ideas, and a mural graffiti abatement program, and there'll be more. So I've talked long enough. Thank you for listening. Let's work together. All right, so thank you. All right. We now go to public appearances or public comments. And again, not to exceed 3 minutes. Watch your time. This is the time for the public to address council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, the podium, please state your name and place of residence for the record. Now, while members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting. Nobody here wants 4-hour meetings. With personal, especially, or slanderous remarks, if the item you wish to comment on is a closed session or a consent item, please comment now. If the item you wish to comment on is on a public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when you get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. So let's begin now. At this point in time, I still keep it open. If anybody wants to come up to the podium for public comments, please fill this out and please give it to our city clerk. But right now we have 6, so we will proceed. I numbered them. The first one I received was from is it Josie or Jose? I can't read it. Felix, please excuse me. All right, and this item is regarding Measure H. Please come forward.
Greetings, Mayor and honorable council members. I'm here to report on behalf of the Measure H Committee. As of the last election of November, we have 4 new members enter into a Measure H Committee. We have Sonia Redona, Willie Hermosillo, Francisco Sanchez, Luis M. Gonzalez as the newest members. Recently, we have had approved $1.5 million on projects, including the crossing guards, SROs, recreation summer programs, Desert Sun Girls softball, shingling fence, public safety feasibility study, community center rentals for Club de los Amigos, Club La Ronda, AC unit replacements for community center and the senior halls, also the swimming pool, and most recently, we gave $140,000 for recreation programs and $100,000 for park and maintenance programs. The most recent project that we have is the 50% bonding from the Measure H funds for the future public safety, parks, recreation, and senior citizens programs that will be under this bond issue. At our next meeting, which we just found out we will be having, it will be a special meeting where our committee will be discussing with the city manager the wording for this bond and the priority on these projects that will be considered. Also, we will be discussing the subcommittee members that will be part of this effort. And that's all I have for
Well,
you.
thank you. Well said. And I know for sure we all up here commend you for your excellent work, Measure H.
Thank you.
You're a blessing to the city.
We hope you can keep supporting us on
Oh,
that.
we will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next in line is, please, Antonio Garcia. Please come forward. Tony.
Good evening, folks. Mr. Mayor, honorable councilman. My name is Antonio Garcia. I'm still the current president of the Calexico Parents Athletic League, otherwise known as CPAL. And what's becoming a tradition around this time of the year, I come and give you an update on some of our travel and some of our efforts. Just recently, this past weekend, at the famous Qualcomm Stadium, Calexico was represented very well.
Petco.
No.
No,
Qualcomm.
Qualcomm with the Chargers and the Aztecs still play. Calexico was there showing off some of the soccer teams. And during this event over the weekend, we have another state champ. These are the IV United 16 and under champions.
All right. Way to go.
And we're hoping to continue the tradition and getting more and more champs. I'll keep on telling the coach at the high school, he owes us big time. He's going to have stars to pick out. But it's going to progress really well. This time I'm going to just introduce some of the players. At these games, they were all ranging ages from 8 to 16. Teams from all over the country. We also had a team from Nigeria there. 5 teams from Calexico were there. And the IV United came out champs 16 and under. Cuando los nombres se levantan, por favor, brevemente. Alan Castro. Abraham Peralta, Giovanni Amezquita, Ivan Flores, Ismael Pérez, Manuel Salcido, Felipe Muñoz, Isael Martínez, Luis Mendoza, Esteban Flores, Javier Tavera, Jorge Acevedo, Sebastián Melendres, Brandon Jaques, Robin Torres, Mario Labios, Javier Briceño, and their tireless, ever-working coaching staff, Enrique Bojorquez, Jorge Acevedo, Fabián Valenzuela, and José Miranda. These are the IV United 16 and under state champs. We're hoping that next year they'll send them up to Pennsylvania to become national champs. We'll work on that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Two more comments if I have the time. Myself and Mr. Luis Fuentes, we had this organization. Mr. Fuentes, I believe, is here somewhere. There he is. But none of this would be possible without the hard work and dedication and guidance of whom we call la madrina del deporte, and that is Ms. Carmen Estrada. I want to thank her for her tireless effort. I know she's been in your hair a lot, but she has to do that to get what she wants. Oh, and the lady from Measure H, when is your next meeting?
Our regular meeting will be next month.
Okay. Get a hold of Mrs. Starr, myself, and we can attend. We have some other ideas, too. Folks, once again, thank you for your encouragement and support. We're going to continue with it. We are now the biggest nonprofit organization in Calexico and probably the Valley.
Excellent.
Thank you for everything, folks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Ben Horton, please come forward. Oh, on deck. On deck, please forgive me, Edney Cervantes? That's how I read it.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished members of the City Council, my name is Ben Horton from Calexico. I'm the chairman of the Economic Commission, and also I sit on the Finance Committee. And one of the things that I'm here for is to show that two committees can work together for the betterment of the city. I'm happy to say that in reference to the town center, next week they'll be closing escrow on one of the first locations here in Calexico to start setting up a manufacturing part of the Calexico. And I just want to say it was thanks to the staff of Calexico, especially Nick Savine, that all of this could happen. So I just want to let this know in the future. The committee, and maybe both committees, are going to start giving maybe every meeting a report on the status of the economic condition of the city of Calexico. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Horton, for all your hard work in the commission. Really appreciate the reports. Cervantes, please, last name? I'm sorry, didn't pronounce. What is it?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Edna Cervantes, pertenezco a la organización CPL. Es la primera vez que yo estoy aquí frente de ustedes, simplemente para dar las gracias a la comunidad, a nuestros sponsors, que fueron las personas que nos dieron las facilidades para poder que estos niños de 10 años vivieran la experiencia de pisar un estadio tan impactante como el estadio de los Chargers de San Diego. Quiero dar las gracias a los patrocinadores que nos hicieron el favor de apoyar a estos niños. Estos niños tenemos trabajando desde los 4 años, ahorita son entre 10 y 11 años y siguen adelante y van a llegar a donde están ellos, ¿sí o no? En especial, quiero darle las gracias a los fundadores, a la señora Carmen Estrada, a Tony García, que no nos dejan de la mano, a los coaches que voluntariamente, sin costo alguno, nada se les paga, ellos están dando su trabajo a la comunidad. Necesitamos más apoyo para que la ciudad de Calexico siga brillando. Ok, Luis Fuentes.
Thank you very much. Carmen Estrada.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Carmen Estrada. Yo quiero pues repetir lo mismo, no lo mismo, la verdad. Yo quiero dar gracias a Luis Fuentes, que fue, no está aquí, Luis, Luis Fuentes, que fue el fundador, en conjunto con Tony García y su servidora, que fuimos, Enrique Bojorques, que fueron las personas que nos tuvimos confianza para empezar este nuevo programa, y a la comunidad, a los niños y a los papás. Y a ustedes, porque sin ustedes no estuviéramos aquí. Cada día que estamos aquí con ustedes tenemos el nombre de cada una de las personas. Es difícil dar el nombre de cada una de las personas de las que ayudan, pero yo les doy las gracias a todos ustedes, en conjunto con Recreación, en conjunto con la comunidad. Gracias por apoyar. Y esta vez se lo dedico, Oscar, jefe de policía, ustedes saben qué hubo aquí para que llegáramos donde estamos. De 120 niños nos patrocinaron 11 habitaciones de niños de escasos recursos porque no iban a poder cumplir su sueño. Y nos hicieron la facilidad de pagar 11 habitaciones. No sé si debo de decir nombres porque hay veces hay celos, pero tenemos que fijarnos en las personas necesitadas. Tuvimos un niño que fue el mejor jugador, Diven Medina. El niño, Diven Medina, le dieron su balón patrocinado. El niño va y le da el balón al portero de su equipo porque cumple años. Y le digo yo, Diven, párate, mi amor. Le digo, mijo, ¿por qué das ese balón? Porque él estuvo atento a mí, en mis ampollas, porque mis no me quedaban. Y a usted mi corazón le dijo, hizo llorar a los papás, porque qué bonito el detalle del niño. El niño es un niño especial y yo lo tengo. Y pues se los quiero decir qué es realmente este programa. Este programa no cobra un 5 para llevar a cabo lo que estamos haciendo. Lo hacen los papás del programa y la ayuda de ustedes, que es los parques. Eso les hago la aclaración. Para llevar casi 400 personas a San Diego. ¡Wow! Es algo grande. Y es el nombre de la ciudad de Calexico. Y gracias por los que confían en nosotros y a los que no, los invitamos a que se acerquen a nosotros y sepan el trabajo que hacemos. Y creo que cada día están más personas unidas a nosotros, porque cuando menos piensa, tengo una persona atrás que tiene un poder y tiene el corazón para continuar con esto. Gracias, señor Lili, señor Córdoba, gracias por ayudarnos, porque nos unimos para triunfar y ayudar a la comunidad. Y ojalá haya más equipos que se unan para triunfar en lo que nosotros estamos para la comunidad. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Supervisor John Renison, please come forward. Do I need this? No.
Yeah, if you want. Honorable City Council, Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a brief report. I'd like to come now and then to give an update on county. There's currently 323 persons from Calexico employed at the solar projects east or west of Calexico, out of a total of 850. So 323 Calexico residents right now working at those solar projects, and we'll be adding more very shortly. The other thing I wanted, and I know I've discussed this with a couple of you folks, let me congratulate Nick Servine, because I know that he's been doing a great job with the Grand Plaza as well as city administration. I congratulate you on that project. In order to benefit the local residents, I asked the city council, Mr. Hodge, and I've spoken to you and Mr. Moreno, specifically on prevailing upon the builders out there of hiring local people. And I know that's tough because it's, you can't force anybody. But the county policy is anytime we bring in a project, we always work with them very closely to make sure that they're hiring local folks, and we monitor that. And I know we're not policemen. We can't go check residences, nor will we. But we have to go by the honor system. But I just prevail upon the council to direct city management or yourself, Mr. Hodge, and possibly another council member to meet with me, and I would more than be happy to go out there with you and speak to these folks. The other concern I have is there's not a lot of local hires during the construction either. I've been told by many of the local contractors and the local labor force people that there's not a lot of local jobs out there. Now, I don't have proof of that, but I've been told by several sources, so I'm not accusing anybody. So I would just like you folks to meet with them. During the construction phase, you have 4 or 5 months to go yet, and I would think that it would be apropos to meet with them to see what we can do to employ more local folks. We have thousands of people going to these job fairs. Every time that the county puts on a job fair, we have 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 people applying for jobs, and there's no way we can fill those. So I just prevail upon the council to help us out on that. We are still working on the call center. As you recall, several months ago, Mr. Hodge and Mr. Hurtado met with a firm, a national firm that was going to open a call center in Calexico. We are still on the radar. We are still on the radar. This would be upwards of 500 jobs. Mr. Rodriguez, you're aware of that project as well. I can't give details other than to say that we're still in the final decision phase. It's been delayed because of Obamacare, as you know, has been delayed, part of it, for a year. So we don't know if we'll get a decision this year on the call center, but I'll be working very closely with that company to bring 500-600 jobs to Calexico. And if there's anything the county could do to assist the city, as you know, we brought down the economic development specialist to meet with your staff, and we're there to help. We have a terrific staff. We have, by the way, we have money for mobile home replacement. As long as you're an owner-occupied mobile home in the county, in the city of Calexico, there's monies available to replace mobile homes as long as you qualify under the income limits. So that's my report.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Renison.
Mr. Mayor, if I
yes.
may, just so you're aware of it, we constantly are talking to the owners of Grand Plaza. We have a weekly meeting with them, construction meeting, as well as with the owners' representatives. So we certainly, every time we get a chance, we are talking to them about creating local jobs, which would not only be good for them, obviously for the city, but also for them. So yes, we constantly are on the radar screen with them in reference to that item, and they promised us that they would, as much as possible, create local jobs.
So we'll just keep bringing it up and pushing for it. Hopefully it happens, because that's an important issue. Okay. Okay, that's what we'll do. Thank you, City Manager. Okay, moving on, Eduardo Guzman. Mr. Guzman, please.
Somebody left their cell phone here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eduardo Guzman. I live here at 344 East 4th Street, Calexico. What I want to bring over here, I don't have enough time on the 3 minutes to give you this full explanation as to what I'm doing here. I've been doing it for the last year and a half or so. What we're doing is we're implementing a program, rebate program with IID, Imperial Irrigation District. And what we're doing is doing attic insulation at no cost to the people. How is that? When I came here a couple of years ago, I started working with the IID directors, and they had a program. They have a program, a rebate program for energy conservation, and they have rebates on air conditionings and all that stuff. You know, that you replace your new air conditioner, which it'll be energy efficient. They'll give you $145 a ton. So if you get a 5 tons, you get about $700 rebate from the. On this one here, they had 15 cents rebate per square foot on the attic insulation. Well, when I came in and I went and politicked this thing around, and all utility companies have to have a rebate program to help their customers save energy. So when I went and we went and dealt with the members, the board members, and we raised it up. They told us, what is it going to take? Because the people don't have money, point, here in the valley to put attic insulation. Even though it's going to save you $50 a month, $60 a month, you still don't have the money to invest. So the IID had $25 million of rebate money that has been collected from every customer. Each one of you pays a percentage every month, and they put it in a little piggy bank, and hopefully that someday you use it. Well, if you got to put money out of your pocket, you're not going to use it. So this is why they accumulated $25 million. So now we're going to work the attic insulation at no cost to the customer. We're doing it for what they're rebating for, 60 cents a square foot. The gas company pays 15 cents a square foot. And they had a restriction on it as far as the houses had to be built prior to 1978. And the house would have to have no more than 4 inches of insulation existing. So now we got a new modification that came out on the paper the other day. They took the year out of the houses, no more. It can be any year, and up to R19, which you can have up to 7 inches of existing insulation and still be qualified. So this is a great deal. It's now going to give us the whole county, Coachella Valleys, Indios. We're going to have a lot of homes. And I'm explaining this to the people because a lot of people don't know, hey, I don't believe in anything, nothing's free. Well, it's not free. They are paying for it out of your funds. If you don't use it, you lose it. So, hay que aprovechar de que tenemos este reembolso aquí con la compañía de la luz, que el Estado los hace que hagan, que den este reembolso para que insulen sus casas, para que les pongan aislante y ahorren energía. Hay 25 millones de dólares allí en el IID que tienen que gastarlos y tienen que gastarlos en ahorrar energía. Este es uno de las partes más importantes, el techo de la casa donde pega el sol todo el día. Es ellos lo que quieren que ustedes les pongan.
Mr. Guzman, please wrap it up. Thank you.
All right?
Thank you, sir.
Maybe
Thank you.
in the future, I'd like to bring in the next council meeting and bring in a full explanation
Very
under the
good.
agenda, please.
You're entitled to that, sir.
I'd appreciate it.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, may
Yes,
I
sir.
ask that Mr. Guzman maybe provide us some information, because as you know, we run affordable housing projects, and so it'd be really nice to be able to provide that to these clients.
Okay, very good. All right, that concludes public comments. All right. We'll let the young men leave. Anyone have access to the air conditioner? It's a little warm in here, is it not?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Can I speak a little bit? Mr. Tony Garcia, today I founded over 200,000 grant through the county. You contact same person you contacted last time. They only have a 2 weeks time. Could you contact tomorrow, please?
Okay, now we move on to general comments by council members. If you, okay, we'll start on the left here, Councilman Castro.
Well, I have some question related to the detention center. I believe I hear city manager and I believe Mayor Bill Hodge and Councilwoman Maritza. Are you aware of this detention center that is close to Calexico Eastport? That's my question. I mean, I didn't know about that.
Well, I think that the county has been involved with that, with the city of Hopeville, in putting that together. There's a private industry, and it's a private development that's going on. Maybe Supervisor Renison can fill us in a little more on that.
I could have somebody come down and make a presentation, but the county only approves the project for zoning purposes. The financing bond was by La Paz County, Arizona. Oscar, you familiar with that? Okay, and the city of Hopeville was approached, so you might want to call Alex Meyerhoff, who's a city manager in Hopeville, who is a super guy. He'll explain the financing on that and how that was done. And also, strangely enough, the Brawley Community Foundation, who is rehabbing the Brawley Theater downtown, is also involved in that. So there's like City of Hopeville, La Paz County, Arizona, and the private contractor. So that's how it's being financed. The county only approves the zoning and that type of deal.
What's the name of the Brawley Foundation?
Brawley Community Foundation. They're part of the, I don't know if it's part of the corporation, but they're part of the act, let's put it that way. But Alex Meyerhoff, if Oscar knows him well, all he has to do is call him up, and he'll give him all the details on the financing structure. City of Hopeville.
I'm still concerned. We are, the city of Calexico, we are neighbors. I mean, that area is close to, I believe that there is only 5 or 7 miles away from that.
About 7 or 8 miles, yes.
7 to
7 to 8 miles.
7 to 8 miles. And my concern is, we as a neighbors, and our city is close to that detention. I believe our citizen needs to be aware of this detention center. And that's the reason I'm still concerned that our citizen, the majority, I believe probably 99% or probably 95% of the citizens, they didn't know about this detention center. I mean, that's something that our citizens are going to start ask questions to us, especially to the city council, to the government of the city of Calexico, and that's my concern. And like I said, I didn't know about this, and I'm still concerned. We didn't get any information related to that. And city manager, again, if you knew about these issues, I believe you should inform next time, and especially in public council meeting, because the citizens of Calexico, they need to know what's going on. Especially we are going to be the neighbors of that detention center, and I'm talking about some citizen concern about some bad issues related to public safety here in Calexico, and now our citizens they're gonna think twice on this issue. I mean, we are going to be close to that detention center. That's my concern.
All right, very valid concerns, Councilman Castro. One step we can take is have a presentation. Supervisor?
Yeah, well, I'll contact Mark. Hopeville has been working with them as far as the financing, but it's neither in Hopeville's jurisdiction or the city of Calexico's jurisdiction. It's actually in county jurisdiction. And they're a private venture. So all they need to do is have the zoning, get their financing in place. They don't need any approvals from us, but we will certainly contact Mark and see if he can provide and share more information.
Yeah, that would be great if they made a presentation to allay your concerns, but Oscar's absolutely right.
I understand this is a private sector, and I understand that's out of the city jurisdiction, but at the same time, we are going to be the neighbors. So that is my concern.
Very good.
Thank you.
Is that all, Councilman
That all.
Castro?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Hurtado?
Mr. Renison, how long has the project been in the works? A couple of years?
I would say that,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years maybe. I don't know for sure. That was before my watch. They've been talking about it.
And before mine. Before mine, if you're saying the same thing. Right. Because your question was towards myself, and we were aware, Mr. Meyerhoff and I, we do have a pretty good relationship, and he did mention, and at that time, what they had mentioned is that Imperial was the one that was going to be working with them for the financing. And basically, the situation, and I questioned that, but...
Let me interrupt you, that's another project.
Okay, sorry. So whatever it was that was going on, there wasn't really any way to penetrate or to involve ourselves. Kind of sort of like what has happened with the solar projects, that the solar projects have been county projects, and the city of Calexico really hasn't had a say-so.
That's correct. I mean, they go through they do EIRs, and they cost $1 million, and it takes a year on the solar projects to do EIRs, and then there's public hearings, and there's notices. Jennifer, you're aware of those, and they're in the paper and all of that, and obviously we get comments pro and con, like the wind project. We had a 2-day public hearing on that one about a year ago or a year and a half ago. That was a very long one. But just to clarify, there's 2 different projects. There's another one coming at the Eastport Gateway, and that's a totally different company, private, and they're going to be, Oscar, through the city of Imperial, believe it or not. You know that, right? Yeah, through the city of Imperial. So Oscar might want to get a hold of Marlene Best, who knows us well, and have her make a presentation, or someone here in Calexico, regarding another one coming at the Gateway. And once again, they go through the planning process, EIR, costs about $1 million, and then they basically go through the hoops.
Thank you, Mr. Renison. I'd like to report that last week we had another farmers market meeting, and it looks like we're scheduling a pilot program. Our first farmers market will be held at the Crement Park, and it's going to be a Sunday, October the 6th, for those of you that want to come and join us or participate. Sandra, thank you. She's been working really hard together with myself and a couple other individuals here in the city to get that going. Last week, we also had the Imperial Valley, Mexicali Binational Committee's last meeting that Calexico hosted, and I want to thank the staff and Mr. Rodriguez for helping us to get all of that going, and that was an excellent meal we had from Humbert Felix's new restaurant, the Mesquite Grill. So that was really good. This binational committee meets in order to go over different transportation, infrastructure, and air quality issues. We will be presenting in September an MOU that covers these relationships that we have with the different committees in order to continue working on those issues. I also wanted to add that in looking through the Grand Plaza's website, there is an item there that says employment, and you can go in there, and each different company that's looking for employees has already a link on there that you're able to go in and apply. And you can find that at grandplaza.com. And also, I'd like to report that this past week, we also in preparation of Grand Plaza coming to the city, I know that there's quite a bit of interest in shuttle services to take our visitors and shoppers from our border area down to the Grand Plaza. And I know that we are now receiving those applications, and there are a few more hoops to go through in order to have those applications approved. So it looks good. We definitely need to get ready for that Grand Plaza, and transportation will be a very big thing for that. So I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Hurtado. Councilman Kim, your turn, sir.
So my news
You have a better microphone, sir.
Okay, well, I concur to Mr. Castro. Some project nearby the Calexico, city of Calexico, we should know. And one thing, I'm gonna spend time this one for the requesting agenda. Which one's first? Big one first or small one first, later? Okay, well, I started for the agenda. So I'd like to request to discussion and action on the development of rules and the procedure to provide the procedure for the placement of the items on the city council agenda for next meeting, I believe, August 20th. Do I have some concurrence for the council members?
I'm sorry, state that again?
Do I have a concurrence for some council members, they can put on the agenda? I believe that our policy needs two council members to concur this.
I will agree with that,
Okay.
Councilman Kim.
The other one is discussion and action on the development of the rules and the process to provide the water discount to low-income seniors on their city water bill. I would like to place next agenda.
Okay, very good.
The other one is, I think it's very similar, related with Mr. Castro was mentioning a little bit while ago. I believe city of Calexico, we need to prepare for the next generation of the Calexico. We cannot sitting down here. So I request a follow item to be placed on the August 20th, 2013 City Council agenda. Discussion action on the annexation of land to the west and the east of the Calexico to the city of Calexico. The westbound, from the 111, north up to the McCabe, west up to the Brookman Road, and the east side of 111 up to the road, Heber Road, and the westbound up to the, eastbound up to the Holdridge Road. We need to expand our city for the next generations.
Just 3-minute warning, sir. You may continue if you need wrap it up.
So can I get some conclusion, second from the?
I will second that. You have a right, sir. But just remember to follow up with staff? There are quite a bit of requests, but
And this one is a request of follow items for the placed on the agenda on August 20th, 13th. Discussion and action on the developing of the plan to purchase energy efficient, clear air or gas or / electric bus for the city of Calexico transportations. We need to improve the citizens, the transportation. I believe the police commissioner was raising the question about the safety of the citizens. I concur with them. City has to do something on that. We cannot rely on the private sectors only. That's I'd like to put on the agenda next. Those 4 agenda next, I'd like to put on the next city council meeting.
sir, how many have you requested? 4? All right. Okay, thank you, Councilman Kim. Councilman John Moreno.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the binational Imperial Valley meeting at the Historic Danzo Hotel, and I think we're on the verge of some good things. A lot of discussion, a lot of dialogue, getting to know people out there, and looking forward to making this area, this region, a much nicer region as far as quality of life, transportation, air quality, etc. I also met with Mayor Hodge earlier last week to discuss our next town hall meeting, which has been slated for August 29th. And it's a Thursday at around 6 o'clock. I'd like to make sure that we have that on the record. And since we're putting things on the agenda, I would like to say that our athletic fields, and I've said it before, and you know, Mr. Hodge, you've said it before as well, deplorable is the only word that I can describe. I'm talking about Alex Rivera Field. I'm talking about American Legion Field. We had the luxury of hosting a championship, 10 and 11-year-old, Little League against Brawley. And I was asked to announce the game, which I always do. I was embarrassed by the infield, which is supposed to be grass, but it wasn't. It was dirt and clay. I was embarrassed by right field, by center field, which is dirt, and it should be grass. I just hope that for next year, that these conditions improve. I'd like to see the plan for our athletic fields. I'm not specifically talking about the park areas for families and picnics. I'm talking about where families go in big numbers on the evenings at 7 o'clock to watch the youth play baseball. And I'm not talking about soccer. Even those need help too, and I see Gutierrez Field being taken care of. And they're not playing on it. They're allowing the grass to grow. I'd like to see that now in the off-season, now that the Little League Championships are almost over. I believe our 10 and 11-year-old boys are playing in Brawley at the Costello Field, I believe that's what it's called. A beautiful ballpark with grass and all kinds of amenities. And I just hope that our city does something for the youth. They deserve a place to play. The dust picks up, it's unhealthy because they're breathing the dust, not to mention the friendly new river that's just down the street with all its chemicals that mixes with the dust when the wind blows. Mr. Mayor, I want to put that on the agenda for next, the 20th. Could you get that for me, please, Caldi? Thank you. I will make sure that that gets on the agenda, what the plan is month by month from now till, my time is up, from now until the season opens in February.
And just a quick comment on that, and hopefully the bonding of that Measure H monies, which you have approved, we'll be able to utilize some of that to address some of these issues.
Okay. Thank you. And it, include bleachers and grass and trees and shade and concessions and waters and sprinklers and everything you need. Restrooms. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hawes. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Councilman Moreno, and I totally agree. It's been so frustrating. It's been an issue about the parks, and we all have raised our voices on that. But stay focused. We move forward. We have Measure H, and let's be vigilant about that issue, the parks and athletic fields. I also attended the Imperial Mexicali Binational, and I was very impressed with all the people that were present and the ideas that are being exchanged, and I do want to commend Councilwoman Hurtado for her leadership and ICTC, and it's something that's worthwhile that we need to move forward, and I've been told that they're expanding. It's getting larger, it's getting more important, and so we now have a new institution. We'll be signing the MOU on September 12th in Mexicali, and so it is a very, very good deal to have. And along with that, as mayor, I will work with my fellow councilmen and staff and anybody else that's interested to strengthen the ties more on a governmental level with Mexicali. We have a new mayor coming in, so we don't want to wait, and so we'll move forward on that. That's all the comments I have. So, yes, sir.
And the mayor of Mexicali, I believe, takes office the first week of December?
December.
December 1st? Mm-hmm. Make sure that we all go? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right, very good. Moving along. We have 12 consent items. We've already been approached to pull number 8. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor. I also would have one comment, if you allow me.
Oh, my apologies. You know what? We have to put that in bolder, larger print.
Real big.
I apologize, City Manager. It is your turn to give your report.
I'm going to keep it short tonight because I know we have a large agenda.
2 minutes.
I only need one. And that is last meeting that we had. I forgot to mention this, which I think is very important. But I'd like to introduce a person who is a colleague of mine who graduated back in the 70s with me. I won't say what year that was, but and I forgot to introduce him last time. And he is our new City County Enterprise Zone Manager, Mr. Gilbert Grijalva. He's in the audience.
Former mayor, wasn't he?
Former mayor, a lot of things, but anyway, Gilbert just came on board as our new manager for the CCEZ, and he was unanimously picked by the panel, which is representative of 2 members in City Calexico, 2 members for the county, and 1 member for the IID. Welcome on board, Gilbert.
Congratulations. Did you have any other items to report, City Manager?
That's it.
Wow, very good. Okay. All right. Once again, the consent item, there are 12. 8 has been requested to be pulled. Is there any other request to pull anything from the consent item?
I'd like to pull number 1.
Number 1. That's it, sir?
That's it for me.
I'd like to pull number 4, 5,
Okay.
9,
Oh, okay. 9.
10,
Oh.
11,
Okay.
and 12.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Mayor, I know
Yes,
that
sir.
we spend a lot of time with our city manager with the briefings on the agendas, over 2 hours on some of us. I would just hope that Councilman Kim would keep his editorial short and ask the questions that need to be asked, and be a little considerate of the people in the audience instead of keeping us here like he did for 2 to 3, 4 hours.
All right.
Thank you.
I acknowledge, okay, second. We acknowledge that concern, but at the same point, Councilman Kim has a right to pull items, and I must defend him. It's not an editorial. There are important questions that he has, but please, Councilman Kim, expedite these areas. That's a lot, sir, and we're hoping to still cover important items, but to be efficient in our meetings. That's practically all of them. Councilman Castro?
No, I don't have no item.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any left.
Councilwoman Hurtado?
No.
Thank you. Okay.
Anything left to pull?
Yeah, there's a few that we can,
No.
vote on, if I did this right, we can vote on the consent agenda for item number 2, 3, 6, 7, and 10. Is that correct?
Pull the 10 too.
Oh, you pulled number 10 also?
I motion for the approval of consent agenda items 2, 3, 6, and 7.
Okay.
Second.
Second, motion by Councilwoman Hurtado, second by Councilman Moreno. Please vote. Okay. Before we begin, again, let's try to move swiftly, accurately, but swiftly. So I'm going to give you the 3-minute warnings because, Councilman Kim, you have a lot of items that you want to discuss. But let's begin with Councilman Moreno. You pulled number 1. Sir, please
Yeah,
address that.
Mine will take 10 seconds. Page 10, item 1, last line. Motion was made by Councilman Romero. That should be Councilman Moreno. Okay? That's all I have. I motion for its approval.
Is there a second?
Which item was that?
Item 1, page 10.
Second.
All right, please vote. Okay. Moving along, Councilman Kim, we'll start with item number 4, sir. Approval to authorize the city manager to sign agreement with SIRS Senior Community Service Employment Program. It's a yearly process, sir, but go ahead.
Thank you for criticizing me to pull the items, but you're not criticizing for so a lot of items is supposed not be in consent agenda. Consent agenda is supposedly normal business. It's not just like a contract, things like that.
All right.
All I said was that...
And also,
No,
the
don't
issues, our job is to,
He's addressing me.
Okay.
Excuse
Let
me.
him talk. Go ahead.
I believe our job is, our duty is to due diligence to do our job for the best of the community. Some issues we need to discuss, we need to discuss. That's our job. Of course, no one doesn't want to wasting time. So why wasting time? Just like what you saw a little while ago when we starting the meeting, and just conflict,
Okay.
just
Sir.
steps in.
Councilman Kim, duly noted, can you please
Yes.
go to
At
item
least-
number 4?
At least I've been beaten several times, I think I need to respond once.
Sir,
Thank you.
please proceed.
Okay.
Item number 4.
I see the senior service for the employment program. I believe there's a lot of people, especially seniors, but they don't know about these programs. I'd like to have this one to announce it to how we can get the job, how can they request the job, so our citizens, senior citizens, they can have a benefit from these programs. There's no way to know the people about these programs. At least most of the seniors, they're not going to the website.
Okay.
I believe we have some city halls and certain city place to how can get the job for this.
Better communication, sir?
Yes, please. That way we can provide the best service for our seniors.
Mr. Mayor, may I?
Yes.
This is a service, an employment service. Senior Community Service, they are actually the experts that provide the employees to the city of Calexico, and they actually go do the search. They're the ones that advertise for them. It's a service that we actually go out to avoid that this staff has to do that work.
So it's out of our hands, they're taking care of it,
Just like
Councilwoman.
any employment service.
All
It's
right.
their job to find the employee.
So Councilman Kim, she's saying that they're doing that. That's their
What-
responsibility.
So we're not just waiting for them to help our citizens. We just announced what their activities to let our citizens know where they can get the job.
Okay.
They can ask it.
All right, so you're saying that we should additionally communicate?
Yes,
All right.
additionally, ourselves.
Okay, very good. Any more comment on that? May we vote on that, Councilman Kim?
Yes, please.
All right,
I'd like-
please vote for item number 4 on consent agenda. Do we have, we need a motion?
I make the motion to approve it.
Second, okay. Please vote. All right, unanimous. Moving on to item number 5. Councilman Kim?
Well, I'd like to have a little more explanation to the public, especially to what is between the TEA and what's called the we have an enterprise zone.
Yeah. If you'll permit me, let me read that. It's approval of a resolution of the City of Calexico of the County of Imperial approving the boundaries of the Target Employment Area, TEA, for the Calexico County Enterprise Zone. City Manager?
I'm just going to give you a brief, and then I'm going to ask our new CCEZ director, or manager, to come up here and give us a little brief maybe on what's actually happening with enterprise zones, all within a matter of 2.5 minutes. I'm sure he can do that. But the item before you tonight is just simply within 180 days of producing a federal census, we're required to certify that what census qualify under what's called the targeted employment area, which then identifies that area as an area that can get credits and assistance from the state government. So having said that, and that's really all the item is, I'm going to ask Mr. Grijalva to just quickly give you a thumbnail on where we're at with enterprise zones. As you all know, this was eliminated come December 31st, so we want to just catch up really quick, and that's why we're doing some of this TEA certifications.
All right, very good.
Yeah, the TEA will allow from now until the end of the year to be able to have qualified persons who get hired by employers here in the community to be able to, for the employer to be able to use those tax credits. Those tax credits that they'll have, currently they'll run for 5 years, but the new legislation will allow it to go 10 years. So it allows the employer to be able to use tax credits on years where he's very successful in that year and can use some tax benefits to help his business a little bit. But anyway, with my 1.5 minutes left,
2 minutes, sir, and 34 seconds.
The enterprise zone, as you're aware, with headlines in the newspaper that the governor and our state legislature chose to eliminate the program as we know it now at the end of the year. My understanding is that there is some language being written still at this time as part of an agreement that our local representatives, our assembly person and our state senator have been fighting for certain language to be appearing in the document, in the bill, so that areas such as ours, which has a tremendously high unemployment rate, will not be left out in the cold. Because the program the governor proposed is that come the 1st of January, the person who qualified for the tax credits or to be hired would have to be paid 150% of what the rate of pay for the state of California is the minimum wage, which currently is about $8 an hour. So that means that a person would have to be hired at $12 an hour to be able to qualify for the program, and which is great for the person being hired. But in reality, I don't know how many businesses in our community can afford to pay at that rate for various employees, because most of our businesses are smaller businesses and things of that nature. So it puts us in a tough situation. My understanding of the bargaining going on, and that should be appearing, is that our area will be considered, well, it's a high unemployment area, that there'll be some language in there that will allow us not to have to pay those $12. We're not sure exactly if it's going to be 9, 8, or 10, but there's something that should be coming out August or September of this year. And also, before the state, there is 5 pilot project areas that they're going to determine as to where they're going to place them. And the rumor is that our area is going to be one of those. So as we stand now, the enterprise zone will no longer exist as we've known it for the past 30 years, but there'll be something different in its place. So, but what that is, we're not sure yet.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Grijalva, and we
Mr.
look
Mayor, can I have a
forward-
clarification?
Yes, Councilman.
This is a question
Woman.
for the city clerk.
Yes.
As council members here, when we receive our agenda, we have backup. Now, the question is, does the public have access to the backup as well? And just to make sure that we're not implying that we're not providing this information to the public, they do have access to the backup? It's on the city website. It's on the city website, and then we have a... And it's available if they wish to come to the city. Okay. Because there's plenty of backup here, and all these items that we're looking at, there's plenty of backup, and those individuals that may want to have further information, they can always look at our backup. Is that correct? And we do have a public agenda that's in our office. Okay. Okay, just want to make sure that we clarify that there's
Very
no
good.
implying that we're
Okay.
not providing it.
All right. Councilman Kim, may we move forward and approve number 5?
Make the motion to approve it.
Second.
All right, please proceed, vote. Only 4 more to go. Item number 9, Councilman Kim, approval of playground upgrade project funded by the State of California, Department of Parks and Recreation.
Yes, I have some question about the bleacher,
The what, sir?
the bleacher.
The bleachers.
Yes.
I believe the question was, where are the bleachers being placed? So we're ready for you, Sandra.
And the,
Will you come in and please give us a detail on where these items are being placed?
I think the bleachers will be placed in the park.
Well, yeah, but I think the question was, what park?
Careful on the sarcasm, Councilman Moreno.
He breaks the monotony, so.
We're getting 9 bleachers. Excuse me. 2 of them are going to go in Nosotros Park, 3 at Rodriguez Park, 2 at Las Casitas, and 2 at Daniel Gutierrez.
Number 9 is not about bleachers. Number 9 is about the swing sets.
Oh, okay. A correction brought out by Councilwoman Hurtado.
You know where the shades are?
That, which one is the bleachers? Number 10? Number 9 is not about the bleachers, Councilman
Want me
Kim.
to tell you what, all the stuff that's included in those 2 items?
Yeah, I think that would be good. Go ahead.
So in the 2 items that you have approval for tonight, you have shade structures, and there's going to be a shade, 2, they're canopies. They're the fabric that goes over the different equipment. 2 at Emilia, 1 at Rodriguez, 1 at Heber, 1 at Kennedy Gardens, 1 at Rockwood Plaza, and 1 at Cortez Field. Okay? And then the bleachers, there's going to be 2 at Nosotros, 3 at Rodriguez, 2 at Las Casitas, and 2 at Daniel Gutierrez. The dugout benches, 2 at Rodriguez and 2 at Nosotros. And the swing sets are going one at each of these parks: Emilia Park, Rodriguez Park, Las Casitas, Heber, Kennedy Park, Victoria Park, and the Community Center, Rockwood Plaza, and Cortez Park. 1 at each.
Okay. Councilman Kim, she went over items 9 and 10 as far as where these particular amenities or park entities will be placed. Are you satisfied with the answer, sir?
Yes, but I think the number of the people engaging, of course, all the park, we might gonna need more bleacher, but when I see the Gutierrez Park, I believe what I have information about Gutierrez Park, they're gonna be 2 bleachers, the 48 maximum seat. So if any chance, we can add more bleachers.
That's the way that we're written into the grant, so that's the way we have to implement it. One is going to go close to the basketball courts, and one is going to go close to the tennis courts. That's what the plan is.
So which is, they
It's gonna
will
be
be,
on the southeast side of the park,
south,
on the southeast.
southeast means like the wall side.
At the what?
Yes, southeast side of this wall,
What wall?
the Gutierrez Park.
You're talking about Gutierrez Park, southeast, which be away,
I'm confusing. I'm talking.
We understand, Sandra.
No, Rodriguez Park, what's going to be on the west, and one is going to be on the north.
I believe he was asking for Gutierrez.
Gutierrez,
Yes, I was
Gutierrez.
thinking of Rodriguez. I apologize.
Okay, one is the west, one is the north. Okay, so is there's no way to get the more bleacher then, for now?
Not with this money, but we can work on getting more with other money.
Okay.
once we, Councilmember, once we put all of these improvements in, we will certainly let you know that they're all in, so maybe we can take a tour. And then there'll be some adjustments we'll have to make, so if we need to put more bleachers or benches or whatever, we'll certainly address that.
I like the idea of tour. Excuse me for interrupting.
Thank you.
All
I like
right.
the idea too.
Fine, Councilman Kim.
I
So
make the motion to approve it.
number 9, sir.
Number 9 and 10.
Second, 9 and 10.
We can do both?
Yes, we can do
Okay,
this.
thank you. All right, very good. Please vote for items 9 and 10. All right, item number 11, approval to authorize the city manager to sign consultant agreement with Wilden Engineering for engineering consulting services for Second Street Construction Management Services. Councilman Kim.
This one is we're going to be spending more money for this project, which is like a physical impact, $128,000 more.
Yes, this particular item comes from the standpoint of, if you go out there, they're starting to do the improvements on Second Street now, and we need to make sure that we have people on board that can review and inspect the construction as it's moving along, because obviously it's going to be a public street and we're going to end up obtaining that. So we have to make sure that all the proper steps are taken. We currently, on our staff, which is, the city as a whole, we're almost down to bare bones now. And so it would take having to assign the Public Works Director, city engineer, full-time to run that project. I cannot afford to put him on that project full-time. We have a lot of other things that we're working on. So we're suggesting that you allow us to go ahead and contract out and get somebody from Wildan who is very knowledgeable. They're a company that have employees that are very knowledgeable in this field to do the construction management. The money for this is going to come out, as you remember, as part of the financing for Grand Plaza. There is a CFD that will be floated for $7 million. Of that $7 million, roughly about 3.3, if I remember correctly, is going to be fees, engineering fees, and impact fees that will come to the city once that is finalized. So out of that money, out of the $3.3 million and the area of the engineering fees, that money will come out to fund this particular project. So it will be nothing coming out of the general fund.
Okay, but you said, here, like a physical impact, $128,000, $180, developer engineering fee, permit fees, engineering permit fees. So which is, we not collected this fee yet, and until bond issued, we're not going to be able to collect these fees.
That is correct. When the bond issue closes, that's when we get our money.
So right now, we are the one who financing all this project.
Well, we're financing it through other funds. Basically, the general fund is financing at this point until the bond closes, and we'll get all our money back.
Okay, thank you.
Very good on that item. Councilman Kim? Yes, sir?
I'd like to make the motion not to approve it.
All right. Anybody else do a second?
I move to approve, since there is a lack of a second.
Okay. Please vote.
There you need a second on that one.
Oh, we need a second.
Oh,
Yeah,
to
second.
approve. To approve, right?
To approve. Item number 11.
I believe Councilmember Hurtado did the second.
That is correct.
Mr. Moreno?
I moved it.
And I second. For approval.
All right, I'm learning. I'll make that clear. Okay. The item is approved 4-1. Item number 12, approval of resolutions of the City of Council of the City of Calexico approving and adopting the memorandums of understanding between the city and the Calexico Firefighters Association, Certified Operators Service Employees International Union Local 221, the Police Officers Association, the Supervisors Association, and the Calexico Municipal Employees Association, CEIU Local 221, and authorizing city manager to sign the memorandums of understanding on behalf of the city. Before you proceed, Councilman Kim, city manager, can you please state what year is these memorandums for?
That's my
I thought maybe you were going to say, boy, you're fast. You've already approved 13, 14.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it takes a little
All
longer.
right, I'm sorry, Councilman Kim, that's your question, right, sir?
Yeah, these are your memorandums of 2012, 13. We settled these fairly early in the ballgame. We had what's called TAs, tentative agreements, and then once we get the tentative agreements, which we acknowledge and we follow, once they're approved by council, then we put all of these items that were changed into the original document. So we have the actual document, and we just make the changes to them. Anything we do not change stays within the MOU. So we're kind of playing a little bit of catch-up now. We made the changes into the documents. We've been honoring the TAs, so it's not like anybody has to go back and get a retro on anything. We've honored the TAs, the tentative agreements, when we approved them way back in the beginning of this particular fiscal year. So now all we're doing is adopting the actual final document. As you know, we are moving forward with 13-14 negotiations as we speak. We are meeting with the unions to address the 13-14 negotiation year, potentially 14-15, so it could potentially be a 1-year or a 2-year bargaining agreement. So we are continuing to move forward with negotiations. This will just solidify and finalize the 2012-13 year.
All right, Councilman Kim, this was your item you pulled. You are privileged to start first in your inquiry.
Yes, this one is, was called there's no time, no contract, the period, what years. And misleading the community, said, oh, we're going to make the 13 and 14. Of course, they have a backup document saying the 12 and 13. But a lot of our city, we still not very website friendly. We should be able to do, at the title, we should be able to say what is terms.
We agree, and we apologize for that. I should have said 2012, 2013 MOUs.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I have to make the motion to, thank you for the criticism to being pulled it. Thank you. I make the motion to approve it.
Second.
All right. Motion by Councilman Kim, second by Councilman Moreno. Please vote on item number 11, consent agenda. 12, excuse me. Okay. That concludes the consent items. Now moving on to business items. Item number 13, discussion and/or action on approval to authorize the city manager to sign the proposed agreement with Chavez Digital Advertising for bus shelter advertising and maintenance.
Mr. Mayor, I'll motion for its approval.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussions.
All right. There is discussion. All right. You may proceed, Councilman Kim.
Well, I've been brought this question several months ago. The commissioner shouldn't be engaging our business in the city. And that's why conflict of interest I've been bring up to the city. And I know I don't have any personally problem with any hatiness or any favoritism, but Mr. Chavez was planning commissioner. I believe I heard he just resigned it. That is perceptually is a conflict of interest. Even he didn't engage in anything to this contract became through, and during his commission time, he was offered these kind of activities. So,
Mr. Mayor.
I believe this is conflict of interest. We shouldn't honor this time.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Kim. Councilwoman Hurtado.
Mr. Mayor, I made the motion because I know that Mr. Chaitis has been very involved in our community, and the idea that he came up with was a great idea, not only to be able to participate in assisting in cleaning those bus shelters, but at the same time, this is a very active community member that at this time, if the concern is that there's a conflict, the conflict legally does not exist at this time, and I don't see that there's any reason why not to allow this individual that has been a part of the community we all know, and we know how active he is, to go forward with a great idea that is going to help us out to clean up our community, and for him to have also his involvement that he wants to do as a volunteer for this, or not a volunteer, but as a part of our community.
Mr. Mayor?
Duly noted. Councilman Moreno, please.
Yes, and I concur with Ms. Hurtado on his involvement of the community and his resignation from the Planning Commission. However, he brought in these two big monitors, and I believe he was going to make a demonstration before we approve it.
All right.
Let's see what he's going to be putting up there. What do you
Okay.
think?
Very good.
Oh, I haven't, all I see here is Vieja. Is that what this is? Oh, okay, Vera, sorry.
Okay, Dan. Dan,
He's
you're right in
thinking
front of me.
Go ahead.
It's just pretty much just showing you the businesses that are already there online, not mentioning Coca-Cola, who I just also got, who's going to be involved.
May I ask you, how are they going to be advertised?
They're going to be advertised on, it's posters, that will be on the bus shelters, and also have the IB Transit, which is going to help me get the schedules mounted on the actual bus stops. That way, IBC students, senior citizens, they all know what kind of routes they're going and what schedules do they need to have. Also, the Sun Community, the bank, also came on board, and I'm also working with actually IBC to do some deal there for students where they can have their own advertisement as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I've noticed that at many of these bus shelters, there's always that ever-present graffiti.
Yes.
Are you going to be able to
Yes.
combat that? Once it's up, it comes down?
Yeah, there's all bunch of sorts of spray can removers now that once they just go in there and just wipe it all off, pretty much.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
all I
I'll be aware of that. I'm also going to be taking care of around 50 feet around the area, cleaning all the trash and everything that's on there, such as cups, trash, and gum. That's always been an issue with these bus shelters. You know, the gum that's always been sitting. People can't sit on them because there's always something, on them. And now with the new solar panels that some of these bus shelters also have, which would be good because now they have lighting, you can lighten up the.
Will you be switching these advertisements from time to time?
Yeah, and also the city of Calexico also has and such as nonprofit organizations also are going to have the opportunity to advertise themselves there. Okay. I already spoke with Desperate Bandits, I also spoke with Baja Runners, and some other nonprofit organizations that they're going to have their advertisement for the first couple months can be free. They're going to be able to just, use them as well.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Mostly the case, the advertisement, the media advertisement, they have two different charges. One for the production fees, and the other one is the renting, the time or space renting fees. Is that possible to public or to whoever was customer to be able to bring their own sign?
Yes.
Or it has to be made by your company?
They can bring their own. They can bring their own. The only thing that they're going to have to pay is just for the rent space. That's all.
The rent space.
That's all. Yeah. If they have their own artwork, if they have their own design, that's more than welcome to come over and bring it up and put it up for themselves.
Okay, so the public, they have a ability to do that?
Yeah, they have the option. They have the option. If they want us to do the work, the graphic work for that, that's a separate fee. And if they just want to want in a certain space, we have it there for them too.
Thank you.
Let's go in this order. I'm going to allow Councilman Castro to make his comments, then we'll go to you, City Manager, and then I'll just wrap it up on this issue.
Great.
Councilman Castro, any concerns or questions?
Yes. Do you have a list how much are going to cost the space for this advertising?
Yes. Each space is only for $100, and they make a contract.
Sorry, how much?
100. 100.
For how is going to be the?
It's 100, and it's a contract of 3 months. So for $100, you get to display your advertising spot according to the space that's available, and it's only for 3 months. So it comes down. The ad comes down to $33 per month.
Okay, and do you contact
which is the lowest price anyone out there is going to give you.
Okay, and also did you contact with the local transit service?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, and also.
Which they helped a lot too, by the way.
That's great. Also, I believe we need. The local transit service. They need help on some information related to the routes.
Yes.
And I believe, we can discuss that later in order to let the people knows all the time and the routes that are in local transits here.
To be advertised.
That's going to come on board when IV Transit comes in, because they're putting a little thing, and then it's going to be like the valley routes, and it's going to be the IVC routes, and then it's going to be the local routes. All routes are going to be put up there. I did not leave anybody out for the routes. Yes. All bus transit, everybody that stops at a particular bus stop is going to have their information done as well.
That's great. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. City Manager, would you like to comment and give a little background?
I just wanted to bring out some information that I think is important. Under the agreement, 12 12% of the monthly advertising sales goes to the city of Calexico for the ability to do this. 5% of the advertising panels or the space will be allocated to the city to be able to put our publications on meetings and whatever we want. We will be able to put it on there. I think that's important. There are 16 bus shelters and stops that will be under the agreement. And the other, I think, important part is that under the advertising clause, which is actually on page 6 and number 13A, we have the ability and the right to preview anything that goes in that stop prior to it going in. So I think that's very important because we will have control of what's going into that advertisement and what isn't.
So, if I may,
Councilman Moreno?
one quick question. Political ads,
No political ads, period.
Yeah,
We stayed away from that controversy.
yes, we do want to stay.
Right, in the Exhibit A, it shows what's prohibited: alcohol, tobacco, tobacco products, firearms, physical violence, sexual behavior, illegal or antisocial behavior, religious views, derogatory statements, political messages. Those are all prohibited.
Okay, is that it, City Manager?
That's
Okay.
it. We would
All
recommend.
right,
I have a question. You said the derogatory, there's a two, what the last one you said?
Derogatory statements
And the political.
and political messages.
So there's the difference.
they could be
Right,
one and the
those are
same.
different types of things, right?
Different types, yeah, another point, yeah,
Political
okay,
messages
okay.
are completely out. There's
Okay,
not going
thank
to be
you.
any campaigning in these spaces.
okay. My turn? I concur with Councilwoman Hurtado's comments. Mr. Chidas is a young entrepreneur, and but I also respect the questions that Councilman Kim and concerns that Councilman Castro also had. But I read the background, so in here, and I was quite satisfied with the information. So I support you, and looking forward to making this happen. Just one more question, though, so that we put this hopefully to rest. He's no longer on the Planning Commission, City Attorney. So at this point in time, do you see any conflict of interest?
I'm not aware of any conflicts that would prohibit the city council from entering into this agreement.
All right, thank you, City Attorney. All right, then, Councilman Castro?
Mayor, I'm agree in this project. I believe we need something, someone to do the
Cleaning.
the dirty job, and that's something good for us. But at the same time, I believe Mr.
Kim?
Oscar Rodriguez, you mentioned we have 16 benches, bus shades, and benches
That
for
is
the
correct.
transit. And this is something that we need to do. We need to know how many more benches or bus shelters we have from the city of Calexico. Are we still have more bus shade at the shop?
You mean storage, sir?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Did
Nick Servine? Bless you.
Thank you.
Alderman Director. Excuse me, we put up the last one over by the housing units over on Encinas about a year ago at the request of City Council. You guys were concerned that they needed some shade over there, so one of the last ones that we had, we put it out there.
Are we applied to get are we applied for a grant to get more bus shades?
As a matter of fact, we're working constantly with ICTC to find out what grants are available to try to supplement what we already have and where we want to go in the future. As a matter of fact, I believe Councilman Hurtado attended some of these meetings where we talked specifically about bus routes and where we would like to see it grow eventually within the city, specifically more to the east side.
Councilman Castro?
Yes, my concern is, excuse me?
Sir, your valid points, but just remember, we need to stay on the item, which is pertaining to chidas in the advertising. But your questions are very valid.
Okay. Yeah, my question,
One more, please.
yes. And I'm concerned about the bus shade because from First Street to Cloak, I believe, to Cole Road, there, we don't have not any bus shades. So that's my concern.
Okay.
And we talk about 2 miles.
All right, but once again, that's a very valid concern, but it doesn't address the item. Council members, please be aware that we're here only to address the items.
Well, I'd like to-
If we deviate, make it short, but set up a meeting so that we can get this information squared out. Councilwoman Hurtado.
Yes, I'd like to repeat my motion for approval.
All right.
Second.
There is a second. So, motioned by Councilwoman Hurtado, second by Councilman Moreno. Please vote.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to business item number 14. Discussion and/or direction on consideration for an interim 6-month fund developer assistant to the city manager position requested by myself, Mayor Hodge. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question. This
Yes.
title, as Mr. Kim was indicating previous on another item, this title is not clear. What does it exactly mean?
Yes. All right. Do we do this in the right? Do we motion, then second, then we have discussion? Is that how we do it, or can we begin discussion?
We can
You can begin.
I'm
We can
second for
begin.
that, and I believe we have a second for discussion from
Okay, all right.
Mayor
All right, very good. Discussion is needed.
Marisa Hurtado, City Council.
Councilwoman Hurtado, very good question. This was discussed between myself and Councilman Castro. It is just semantically, it's another title that says that we desperately need a grant writer and grant coordinator. There is a qualifier to this, that when we hire someone for that position, when needed at the discretion of our city manager, this person can also, in any minor way, assist our city manager in other areas. That was pushed by Councilman Castro in this title, and I respected his request. But it is also my concern, that's why I put it out in there, that we don't wait for a retreat. I acquiesced a few months back to hold off on this, but again, months have passed, and I think that we can't wait any longer. We need a grant writer, a grant coordinator. And those details can be worked out later. But that's what those wordings mean. Further discussion, Councilwoman Hurtado?
Yeah, I
Yes.
do have some questions. Why 6 months? Would there be somebody that would want to actually come and work for 6 months only with that kind of experience? And then what you were mentioning that we had done was that we discussed this in our team building, that first and only one that we've had. However, the answer to that concern is that this administration has not yet finished the shifting of staff members, because if you just want to hire someone, I thought we were on a hiring freeze at this point because of the financial situation, and we were going to allow our city manager to finish up some of the shifting that's still ongoing and find if there's someone that has the capacity already on staff to handle this business.
Point well taken. That's been discussed among myself and Councilman Castro. We're very open to work with that, what city manager needs to do. Again, reiterating, I'm very impatient about not having a grant writer. We're hurting ourselves, but...
I do have another question, though.
Go ahead.
I remember that when we discussed this in team building, the other question is to pinpoint exactly what you mean that you would want a grant writer, because we have so many different departments in the city, and many of the departments are already handling their own grant writing. So where specifically and what exact focus and scope of this position are you looking for?
Good question. It calls for more detail. I don't know if I can answer that right now. I'll just say that, no disrespect for anyone in the departments, But when we look at our record as far as grant writing, we're not up to a sufficient level. I would like to take that burden off the departments. They have their hands full.
I believe that, I'm sorry, one more.
Go right ahead.
In order to make that determination, if in fact we do not have employees that have the capacity to handle this type of position, I believe we would need to evaluate those departments and the jobs that they have been handling so far in grant writing. Because just to say that statement that they're not taking care of it, we really haven't evaluated. We don't know the history of any of their work. If you could bring that history and have knowledge, exact knowledge, then we could consider making an expenditure of bringing on a new employee, and then still for only 6 months. I think that we really need
I'm not against that, Councilwoman Hurtado. That's a good point. Again, I welcome the discussion, but I just want to move forward. We have to move forward. All this discussion, but the reality is we're lacking in revenue from grants, and we can do a lot better. I think everybody in their hearts can agree to that. Councilman Moreno.
Mr. Mayor, and I applaud you for bringing this up, but then again, I'm kind of at odds, and I agree with Madam Ms. Hurtado on her concerns, which were my concerns that I've written down. You have always brought up certain things that were executed with a plan. So this is kind of, unlike you, this has no plan, this has no scope, this has no focus.
So you want a plan before we agree to move forward?
Exactly. I'd like to see, does the budget allow for this type of work to be done? Have we evaluated the grants that are already within the city of Calexico? And I was hoping that we could get more specifics. A plan would be real good to see what it is, where we're going. We don't know, to me, it doesn't know where I'm going with this. Fund developer, if it's a grant writer, call it a grant writer. Fund developer, to me, it sounds, what is it, develops funds. But I think what we need to do is have a plan. And this is a great idea in concept, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done before any action can be taken. There has to be discussion done before we can
Council Moreno.
see.
Excellent idea about a plan. This is great because we're moving forward. How long do you think that plan should take so we can actually have a grant writer?
I think, Mr. Mayor, I think you and perhaps another council member could be part of a subcommittee that could work with city manager and maybe another department head to find out what direction you want to go, where is it that's lacking in grants. And
May I ask you, how long would time pass that you would become impatient and say, this is too long and we should have one?
Well,
6 months, a year, sir?
It all depends. It all depends what the need is, and we have to find out what the need is, and then we can address it better.
Do we have a need for a grant writer or coordinator? I believe so.
We have, on the books, we have a grants coordinator at this time.
Excuse me?
On the books, we have a grants coordinator at this time.
Mr. Mayor, finally, I think maybe if you want to address this immediately, if not sooner, perhaps a workshop held with this just one item to discuss what is it that needs to be done, what have we done, what needs to be done, and just have one item on the agenda so we can discuss the concept of a grant writer / fund developer.
Well, absolutely. I've succeeded at my request here. That's exactly what I want.
Can I?
Go ahead, Councilman Kim.
I'm done, Mr. Hodge.
Thank you,
Yeah, I
sir.
think so we have several ideas, and Mr. Hodge was saying what is good times for the patient. I think our patients went out. I'm glad Mr. Hodge put this one on the agenda. We have money, I have information here, we have a $500,000 budget. Since I've been had 6 months already, and we don't spend any money. Even we have grant, we don't know how to spend money, or we're not willing to. The $500,000, the Community Economic Development Fund, we're sitting down there.
Okay.
We're not doing anything. And not only that, I spoke with Mr. Rodriguez during the briefing time. staff needs to be more focused into managing their job, and the person who's in charge, they can...
Not off issue, please, Councilman Kim. Stick to the item, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. The fund developer that can be focusing all the department needs of the grant writing and plus to their overseas grant project spending, how they're spending. The person who write the grant, they know how to spend best. There are lots of departments, a lot of government entity, they doing grant writing and they are the grant project, the director, they are same positions. And also the assistant city manager is, I believe our city manager needs help. And we have a lot of things being delayed, a lot of issues is out of the hands. And we need to everything is updated more faster. And same time, and when I went to the JPIA, the workshop, they were recommend we should have a city manager. I think it is a good time to giving the help for the Mr. Rodriguez, so everything is come up with and timely matters we can deal with this, make the decision. And also was mentioning about the budget. The budget, the one who make the decision how to spend it. If we're willing to have spend certain way, and we have to be able to find a way to get the budget. Sometimes the consolidating the position or limiting the position, that we have to have the ability to find the budget. If we don't, that means we are not running the business. Our main principal purpose is first, then others. Our main principle is running the city is properly for the benefit of the community. That's why we making the budget to efficiency. So if we budget in one way and didn't work, we change the position or we adding the position, the budget has to be follow up on that. So we have to find a way to follow up. That's how the
Please wrap it up, Councilman Kim.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Last
All right.
question, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Last question.
Go ahead.
Have you checked, any of us checked with the union, the SEIU union, to see if they would be okay with bringing in a new employee at this time, being that you haven't checked with them?
Councilwoman Hurtado, I've succeeded what I wanted. We're having a discussion. You're bringing up important areas. I totally agree with Councilman Moreno that we should start with a workshop and work this out, a subcommittee. So my goal has been achieved. So we will work out these details. So we don't have to, approve it tonight, but we have to move forward on this. City Manager?
Just a suggestion, if, I'm not sure whether when you say move forward, maybe we should form the subcommittee.
Yes.
So that we can put together some information, have some dialogue, try to work out how it's going to work within the organization, given where the funding is going to come from, a lot of different items. As I mentioned to you during our briefing, we have some movements that we plan on making in the organization too, so we need to figure out how that's all going to fit together.
Okay. Councilman Castro.
Mayor, at the beginning of this issue, did you support? I believe you say you're supporting this issue, that I hear right?
No, Councilman Castro, I want this very much, but our fellow council have brought out some important areas that need to be considered before we just go ahead and vote on it. I'm pleased that we're going to take action with the subcommittee, and I want to work quickly on this, and then we can bring it back.
Okay.
But I do feel that there are areas that need to be worked out. Go ahead, Councilman Castro.
Okay. Mayor, you know what? There is so many subcommittees here in the city of Calexico. Councilman Moreno, he mentioned a few minutes ago that the grass, the parks, the retention basins, the grass is drying. I mean, that's a little and a huge issue. That's a little one. and a huge issue. I've been here for 5 years, and we still continue. I'm here with 5 years with Councilman Moreno, and we are still discussing the grass of the city of Calexico. And now you say, or you mention, that we need a subcommittee in order to make that decision? Come on. I mean, sometimes we're talking about petty things. And we're still here talking about those issues? I mean, for me, I mean, we'll still need to work with subcommittees?
Okay.
I mean,
Councilman Castro, I'm hearing you. So what do you suggest? I mean,
my suggest
do you suggest we just blindly vote on this and then work it out later? Let me hear what you, because I'm still open. But I listen to everybody.
My concern is, you bring that issue.
That's correct.
I'm supporting this issue because we are lack of a bad administration. And the department heads, they need a grant writer. The city of Calexico need a grant writer in order to work and look for benefits. Also, the city manager, the administration, we already passed through a workshop
3
for the
minutes
city
is up, sir.
councils. We already said we need to work and follow the rules
Right.
in all the workshop that we attend. And guess what? We still are in the same page.
Okay.
And
Councilman Castro, once again, you feel because you're persuading me, you feel if we vote on this, then we can work out all the details?
Exactly.
We don't need
we
to
need to
wait.
vote
We don't
on
need to
this.
plan first. That was first my feeling, but then I'm listening to Councilman Moreno and Councilman Hurtado, and I am concerned about not just blindly doing something, but we can work that out. We can vote on it, yes, today, and we can work that out so that we're in the proper boundaries of our
Mr.
budget and so
Hutch,
forth.
But, Mr. Mayor, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail.
Mr. Hatch.
All right, Councilman Kim.
Okay. Mr. Castro was mentioning as good things. He was here 5 years, and then we done the almost same. And we talking.
Correct.
But lack of the actions. Okay, we all know we're gonna need it. So why don't we take tonight to make the board to direction to the city manager, creating the job, the description plus salary schedule. And during jobs, when they provide the job description and salary schedule, and next time when they bring the next meeting, we can discuss in more detail, we can work on it. So why don't we make the decision to creating this position? I support that idea, to create the position, the fund developer / assistant the city manager, and then
Work it out.
let the administration board with the lawyer to bring out the job descriptions
And
the
work it
salary
out.
schedule.
And
Then
work
we
it
have
out.
about almost more than a month, work it out to more details.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Go
may.
ahead, Councilman Moreno, and then let's come to a vote.
We will probably be talking about grass and parks till the day we die,
hope
forever and
not.
ever. We have been and we will be. But this item needs to be thought out. I believe if two members, and maybe Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro, can sit as a subcommittee to hash out a plan, to bring it next to a special workshop meeting so that we can discuss it further. I believe we're stabbing in the dark here. We don't, hold on. We don't know what our focus is. We don't know the scope of work. I agree with you. This would be beneficial to the city staff. It'd be beneficial to the city. But unless we have a focus, unless there's an idea, there's a concept, we're just voting in the,
Okay.
we're just voting with,
May
there's
I-
no backup.
All right, may I speak?
Sure. Oh, yeah, you're the
Okay.
mayor.
Yeah, thank you. I'm listening, and you can tell I'm listening because I'm deliberating within myself. But my gut feeling is, I'm going to take a leap of faith here. I am for planning, I am for working it out, and I know we'll do that. But I agree with Councilman Kim and Castro. If we don't vote right now today, then we're going to go on and on and on and on and on and on, and I'm just impatient. So we can work out the messy details, but I believe that all we're doing is voting that we're going to work towards hiring a grant writer. And those details can be worked out with everybody approving and understanding, but I think we should vote for that. Your arguments were very strong. I wavered, but now that I've heard everybody speak, I'm going back to my gut feeling, and I'm going to support this. So is there any more discussion on these items? I think we've all had a turn.
Okay.
Anybody want to make a motion to vote on this?
Due diligence.
Mr. Mayor? the
Yes,
only-
City Attorney.
The only thing I want to mention is it is providing direction to staff. It's not, as it's listed and it's
Yes.
been put on the agenda, it's not final action.
All right.
So what you
It says here
said
discussion and/or action.
Can I make the motion?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, direction or, no. It was put down discussion and/or direction.
Right, so it would be direction to, I believe Councilmember Kim talked about
Yeah, all
creating
right.
a job description.
Yes.
Finding the position, the place in the budget, et
All
cetera.
right,
So
okay. And that is part of the planning?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Councilman Kim.
Okay, I'd like to make the suggested council to make the direction to the city manager, create a job description for the fund developer / assistant city manager to bring the next meeting. And the job description and the salary schedule.
Second for that.
And the hiring process, yes.
So no more hiring freeze? On a consultant basis, on an employee basis? What's going on?
Well, we're discussing this up here. We're all listening to each other. Sometimes there's a change, there's a turn. City manager, you want to say something?
I guess the only question I had, and we discussed this a little bit during briefings, is that I'm really not sure what the title is. I know what a grants person is, and we have job descriptions for grants people. And in reference to any department head assisting me on any item, that goes in their job description under other related duties. So it would be a lot easier if it's a grants person, that we call it a grants person, and then it'd be a lot easier to put a job description together.
Well, you can. I believe though you can make the same kind of activity as
The same job duties.
Yeah, grand writer / what's called the project director. So those two jobs supposed to be put together, and plus assistants.
Yeah, we can put something together. I'll work with the mayor and putting the job
Yeah,
description
let's work together, but,
and,
okay.
We'll figure it out.
So we have a motion made by Councilman Kim. Did everybody understand the items in that motion?
No.
All right. Do you want more clarification, Councilman Moreno?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Do you want me to
Reiterate
Okay.
or ask him what you want clarification for, sir?
I want clarification on his motion.
The whole thing. Go ahead.
Okay. The clarification of the motion is, we're gonna make we're gonna give the direction to the city manager to develop a job description for the fund developer
Or grant writer.
/ assistant city manager. The fund developer position is grant writing, and was a grant project director's position combined.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty clear.
All right. We don't have to agree, but he stated that. All right. So there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All right, then. I think we've had plenty of discussion. We know where we all feel and stand for this. I respect everybody's opinion, but let's move forward on our vote. Please vote on this item.
Very responsible.
All right, we're now going to proceed with that and wish us success, and we will work hard and make that happen. I do appreciate the comments by Councilman Moreno and Councilman Hurtado. All right,
Mayor, if need my help, assistance, I'd like to assist you to...
You would like to assist? All
Yes,
right,
with the
Councilman
city
Kim,
manager.
you and I will work with city manager.
Good choice.
All right. But we will keep our fellow councilmen informed. They have a right to know, and
So
they
you are
have a right
setting
to
up
have
a...
input.
we're setting
Yeah,
up
we're
a
going to...
Subcommittee? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, we're going to work with city manager. Yeah.
Good job.
All right. Okay, moving along, item that ends business items. Informational items, once again, let me reiterate, look at the time. We might make a record here. We have 2 informational items. I'd like to go ahead and vote on them, or is there anyone at this time that wants to discuss item number 15?
There's no vote.
Yeah, there is no vote, it's only informational, thank you.
Yeah, I have a comment.
Okay, please keep it short.
Yes.
Go ahead,
I think the most
Councilman.
of the comment I spoke with Mr. Rodriguez. I believe some of the commissioner, they're not meeting. And
I agree.
I believe the lack of the chairperson's activities or the lack of our staff who's in charge for the department, the commissions. Whatsoever reason, we have to call every meeting, at least once a meeting, at least if we don't have any agenda to decide, we can have a workshop they can prepare when they come the agenda or issues, they can acting proper. That has to be initiated by the staff who's on assigned that committee. Of
Okay.
course, it has to be direction from the city manager. And the other one is the notice of the meeting is not placed properly. For example, major committee meeting is not sending for the city council. And the last meeting is not being notified the city council. It should be same time they sending to the commissioner, they should be notified the city council.
Good.
And the other one is, they have some when they have a special meeting, I recommend them to, just like a council meeting, to check up for the ability first, before call the special meeting. They call the meeting, they lack of the quorum, they just, a lot of times, because I believe they didn't check before the meeting. For example, when I have a first commission meeting at the county, even they announce it, they keep calling them to ability to be there, the quorum or not. IBROP, they were doing same. The staff calling to make sure the member can be there or not. So I like to have a little diligence for them, the staff, to call them, when they call the meeting, same time to check up the ability of the commissioners to be able to come.
Okay. Is that it, sir, on item number 15? Informational item?
And also, that's the commissioners, this is last,
All right, thank you.
You said also 3 times. That's okay.
Yeah.
not for this one.
All right, move on.
Yes, what's called I believe several commissioners, chairperson came here as they stating as a chairperson. That one is the same as our mayor go to some place, I'm the mayor. The chairperson cannot representing community without their consent. And some chairperson, they're saying something here and without their own community consent. Then they should not disclosing their chairperson as a person or member of the committee.
Okay.
Thank
you. Thank you. All right, informational item number 16.
Knowledge receipt.
All right, very good. That ends our meeting.
Wait a minute.
I have some
Sorry.
One more question.
Okay.
I would hope that at the next meeting, Mr. City Manager, that our air conditioning is working and it's not as miserable as it is today.
Unfortunately, we had to pull that item tonight, but we will certainly work on that and get that done.
Okay, I have some question.
All right. Go ahead, Councilman Kim, please keep it short.
Number 16, I think so we have a revenue. How much we have a revenue gonna have balance?
Where's John? John, you want to come up? And if you could just, if you're specifically talking about a particular item so that we're on the same
Yeah,
page.
the revenue, page 8 of 8. The revenue of the, as of June 30th,
8 of 8. I'm sorry. What was the page again, Mr. Kim?
page 8 of 8.
8 of 8.
The revenue as of June 30th, which is 2013, June 30, which is the last fiscal year's balance, which is our revenue, I'm showing up here, $49 million.
Yeah, 49 is the adopted budget.
Adopted budget.
Correct.
And when I see the expenditure over there, yes, we have an expenditure here. We spent the 2012-13 fiscal year, we spent $41 million.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
The page 31 of the 30.
31 of the 30, we're looking at all funds, and again, that's the adopted budget. That's not the actual spent, that's the adopted budget.
Adopted
The actual
budget.
is the next, it's the next
Actually,
column.
so how much is then?
The actual is your next column, which is actual year-to-date, and so we show all funds, expenditures, 35 million 6.
It's all funds except for the general fund.
Okay, so that's,
Total on page 8 is all non-general fund.
Page 8 of 8 is non-general fund.
8 of 8 is all the funds that are not general fund. It shows in the left-hand column the adopted budget of 31 million, and it shows the actual as of June 30th, which isn't closed yet, for 18.6 million.
So our revenue, so general, you said the general fund, $31 million?
All funds that are not general.
All funds are not general funds. So what means the $49 million then?
I'm sorry?
What means the $49 million, what's included?
49 million is the sum of the general fund and the not general funds. All funds.
All together,
All funds.
all funds together. So all funds together, how much revenue we have then?
I'm sorry?
All funds together, you said page 8 of 8, general funds revenue.
All funds together.
Yes.
49 million.
All funds together.
41 million is non-general fund.
Mhm.
The general fund, I believe, was 13 million or, I can't find it. Is 17.9 million in budget. That's what was adopted, the general fund. And the actual to date, which isn't closed yet, is 12.3 million.
$12.3 million. So we have about $5 million not spent it yet, but there's some bills coming in for that.
We anticipate that we're going to come very close to that 17.9.
So after that, how much projection, how much you're going to balance for the general funds left over for this year, last fiscal years?
You're talking about the revenues over expenditures?
Yes.
It'll be very close. It'll probably be less than $50,000
For the general funds,
for the year.
for the whole fund,
No, for the general fund,
for the general fund only.
yes.
What about the old funds then?
I wouldn't even want to speculate right now. That includes a lot of the utility revenue that is not accrued and is not accounted for yet.
So you don't have anything, the idea
Well,
yet?
usually it'll be, over 2 million.
Over $10 million.
Councilman Kim, can you please wrap it up? And I have a suggestion. I think city manager wants to speak. Will you allow him to? Go ahead, city manager.
well, I think that this is a June 30th, but this is without all of the adjustments that we need to make into the June 30th. So that's why it's difficult for the finance director to give you, pinpoint revenues or expenditures, because there's still some expenditures that we've got to bring into the June 30th.
It's not all
That's what we do
completely
when we
settled.
close the books.
Okay. Councilman Kim,
Yes.
I respect your inquiry. You ask very good, hard questions. But as an observer here, I see what we might be able to improve upon if you think so. What you're asking, Mr. Quinn, can be done before this meeting. You can ascertain the answers, and I think what might be better is rather than going slow and working this out and putting each other on the spot, you get those answers, and then you have the opportunity to tell the public, I inquired with Mr. Kim, I asked him these Mr. Quinn, I asked him these questions, I was concerned, and here are the answers, so that we don't have to go through this. So in other words, I think each and every one of us is beholden to the public to do our homework before city council meetings. And then maybe what we will do is tell the public, I was concerned about this, about that, I met with this city staff, and this is what they said, and these were my concerns, and now I'm satisfied or not satisfied with the answers.
Thank you, Mayor. Brilliant idea.
All right.
Brilliant.
And then you can have the moment to share that information. I'm just trying to get away from the inquisition kind of model here.
Thank you.
But I respect your questions, Mr. Kim.
Well, thank you for the consideration.
Does that make sense, though?
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense?
No, because people have a right to know what is going on.
All right.
We
Okay,
have a responsibility to let the people know what we're doing, how we are doing it.
You can let them know.
Yes, can I
But
finish?
you can
Please.
let them know without putting
Can I finish?
our city officials on the spot. Go ahead.
I'm questioning, I already asked it to city manager. I already have a similar answer for that. So I already did my homework, I already asked them. And the reason I'm asking them I want to community to listen what answer, or how much money have left over, how much we will spend it, and they want to listen from our staff to make sure our community understands.
All right, I respect what you're saying. Another suggestion, though, I think it can be also achieved by you finding those answers, and you, sir, give the narrative to the public. You inform the public what went down with the city staff. Not saying that at times there is a need to ask a city staff at this moment. I'm just asking to consider that.
I'm still going to do it.
I know, sir, but I'm trying to do my part. All right, is that it for tonight? I think we're going to break a record. Is that
Motion
it,
to
Council?
adjourn.
All right, then, we can do so. Councilwoman Hurtado's not here. She stepped out. All right, at 8:44, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.